Welcome everyone to the Speedgaming Live Online 2025 Zelda 2 Randomizer Tournament. Today, this afternoon, we have this lower bracket final race between traiLZ and Patrick. This is game 2 in a 3-game series. traiLZ did take the win yesterday in a sort of unfortunate turn of events for Patrick. Hoping to do a lot better today, I think. That was not his best showing. Definitely both in contention for winning this and moving on to the grand finals. This is the third place match here between them. If traiLZ takes this win, Patrick will take third and traiLZ will go on to the grand finals. If Patrick takes the win, we'll go to a game 3, which is TBD on the schedule for that. So we'll be getting started here shortly as we see the countdown will begin on Patrick's side in a moment, and we'll be off. These runners have had quite the tournament so far. We've had 12 runners in this tournament. Only 3 remain at this point. Yeah, Patrick probably hoping not to go out today, of course, but anything's possible. Rando gonna rando. I think they've had great tournaments as it is, no matter what happens. We've got fire in Old Katsudo spot today, it looks like. Islands again. We had islands yesterday for these runners on the west continent. Hammer blocked or boulder blocked cave up there in the north. Palace down in the south, looks like 3 or 6. We've got a little desync here. Let me try to fix that. I have to wait to see when Patrick's audio comes back up. We see the grass tile there. I didn't see what was on. It looks like the boots. Okay, easy boots to find. Red Dyra giving traiLZ the business there. $150 for the Dyras. Okay, let me see if I can sync this up here. traiLZ's gonna grind off this Red Dyra. Sorry, I'm being silent for a moment so that I can. It looks like we're good on the sync, I think. Probably bump Patrick's audio up just a scotch, I believe. Boots for Patrick as well. I wonder if he's going to do the grind here as traiLZ is at the moment. Easy to respawn. Also, apologies, we do have RG on tracking. Normally we don't have a tracker. Usually I'm doing tracking as well. I've got RG on tracking as well there. Apologies. Jumped up here to do the intro. But yes, RG helping out here as I don't have to worry about the tracking here. So if there's tracking issues, let us know in chat. I will be missing things as is customary. Yeah, very easy to respawn that Red Dyra there next to Saria. Death Mountain Cave there in the southwest. One other cave next to it. It's going to be something. Magic Container Cave. traiLZ at 223. Patrick at 213. Yes, unless you get double or triple axed. Magic Container in Magic Container Cave. Patrick about to find the same stuff here. I did not catch what spell was in Saria there. P4 as well as P3 or 6 on the west here. Spell in Saria, thank you. Got the back of what could be that boulder-blocked cave on the other side, so it might just be a pass-through. We've got Pillar P-Bag Cave here. traiLZ not wanting the 200 bag. He had the 150 Red Dyra for a little bit in the beginning, and that's plenty. And here's a 100 bag on the floor and another 150 from this Dyra here. Could be more Dyras in here as well. Got some annoying beanstalks in the way there. Patrick seeing the cave to DM. Probably not going to want to dig that just yet. traiLZ, oh. Trying to get some ground here. Gets it done. Patrick going to continue to explore. We've got possibly a cave up here. Yes, we do. Just jump cave, but Patrick going to try to get the chill in this orange dire. It could be up to 100, just it's vanilla 70 today, though. I look away as we check the sign in Mito. That's customary. Fairy cave here for Patrick. Oh, traiLZ is going to go in for the 200 bag here. Okay. Reflect. All right. Thank you. Medicine for Reflect today. We're probably going to look around for a little bit more. We've got several caves yet to find. Information. No reason to go in there at the moment. 2 orange diaries here, worth 70 each here. All right, Fairy and Raru, we've caught that one. That's what we're going to want to get started here. $200 points for traiLZ coming up here in this P-Bag Cave. We'll get him that 540. That's probably attack 3. Yep. All right, where are we headed next here, folks? Oh, traiLZ is back in here. He can go kill that dire if he wants to, but I don't know if he wants to fight through all that. At this point, you kind of just want to get moving. You don't want to sit there and grind all day. We do have a bridge, which goes to DM as well, so we've got we see the rock as well right there. Kind of masked. Look at that camouflage rock and hammer cave. First cave as well. You really helps to just check the first few caves, especially if you're willing to do a hammer cave if you find it. Just find it right off the bat. We've seen some other races kind of determined by this a little bit, where the one runner checks that first cave and it is the answer, and it is hammer cave and it does have something good in it. All right, we're coming in for spell on Patrick's side. Just making sure I think I got the audio sync good for Patrick now. I think it was just a scotch off still. Doing the despawn in the final cave here for traiLZ, that's probably a good idea. Not short on experience, not worried about leveling, and you definitely don't want to run into a red dire in this tight corridor. Just a heart in Hammer Cave today. Nice to have, a nice, at this point, 33% bump in health, but not the game-changing item that you may have been hoping for, like Magic Key, the glove, or something else like medicine before you have to go get the hint from the lady to get it for turn it in for Reflect. All right, so we still got Medicine Cave out here somewhere. What, Heart Container Cave? What have we seen? We've seen Magic Container Cave and Grass Tile and P-Bag Cave, and that's it. We're missing 3 other caves? What are these guys doing? Come on, folks. We got the boots on an islands biome. Hop to chop, gentlemen. 7.5 minutes in here. And don't mind that the timers, they are out of sync by about 2.5 seconds. It's because traiLZ has a weird timer start on his side. So they are actually in sync, but it will show out of sync on the timers there. Here's our Container Cave. We also have Jump, I believe, and Rudo was there. traiLZ getting a spell. He'll see Raru soon enough. Didn't see if we had a castable fairy or not. We do have 80 magic. Well, that's a nice jar. Okay. We are going in for the trophy hint here. And traiLZ going to see this as Jump as well. Not going to go in for the hint. Jump, a very valuable spell later on in the game. Also helpful early on if you need to get, downstab or something. But at the same time, we have Fairy, so I did miss the hint. Wow. We are not doing good here. And I can't even blame it on having to track and do comms. Patrick going to go in for the hint here. Maybe grab upstab in the process. Again, I don't know if fairy is castable. He'll see that bridge soon enough. He might check for the first up. There it is. Confirmed castable, even if we didn't see it in the spellbook. He might see that bridge as he exits out of Mito. And he might check the first surrounding caves as well. Wow, we did have at least one boulder-blocked cave, right? But we're still missing trophy and medicine. I mean, we might have two boulder-blocked caves, and in that case, hammer... haven't seen a raft yet, haven't seen another cave. We could have a boulder-blocked cave to the east. P3 medicine for reflect. There's Palace 2 or 5. It is Palace 5. So we've got 4, 5, and either 3 or 6. Another cave up here. Patrick, going to check that first cave. Going to be rewarded. Here's Trophy Cave as well for traiLZ. Patrick's still at 2-1-3. traiLZ all the way up to 3-3-3 at this point. But still doesn't have fairies, so he doesn't know. Oh, the magic key and Trophy Cave. Very nice. Patrick will have that soon enough as well. And honestly, if he doesn't get any more magic levels in the process, he will be able to better power level his attack and life by just having the magic key on hand. So at this point, we may have a boulder-blocked medicine cave. And a boulder-blocked connector. I haven't seen a raft yet. As in raft tile, that is. Is this going to be Raru for traiLZ? Yeah, this is going to be his fairy spell. Patrick also with the despawn. I love it. Taking the safe route. No reason to get yourself killed in this cave this close to something that could be very valuable. Alright, so Patrick knows he's still missing 2 caves on the west. One of them's open. One of them we assume is boulder blocked. He's probably missing that other palace as well, so he's on the hunt for that. They've both seen the 2 connections to DM. In this flag set, we have 2 connections off the west to DM, 1 connection off the west to the east, and 1 connection off of the east to the maze. Same as vanilla, but the transportation is shuffled, so we did see a cave and a bridge that takes us to DM. That means we've got a cave and a raft tile remaining. We have yet to see the raft tile on the west, so I have to assume that there's a cave over here somewhere that might be boulder blocked that'll take us east, meaning we assume that then the raft is going to be from the east to the maze. Patrick very close to the cave. It is further east on his side. Oh, we have a cave to the east. There it is, not blocked. traiLZ has not seen that yet, but Patrick also missing Trophy Cave with that key in it. Tempting to go east to get downstab out of Darunia as soon as you can, but he knows he's still missing some stuff here, including that final palace. Once you see that final palace in the northeast, he'll see that he'll see Trophy Cave as well. Just a little bit further east. There's Trophy Cave, but he's might not see the palace from here. Yeah, he's not going to see the palace from here. All right, traiLZ going to jump into 3 or 6 here. I don't think traiLZ has seen that cave to the east, but I could be wrong. Oh, trophy was that trophy on Maze, DK? Is that what you were yelling at me about? Not yelling, but, you know. Okay, so we've got Trophy Maze for Jump. We've got P3 Medicine for Reflect. We do see Nukasudo there under the Forest tile. That is a guarantee. If we see the Forest tile, it's a guarantee to be Nukasudo. We don't have the hammer yet. We don't know if we're going to need to get in there. Might have Thunder. And that would really be all we would need out of there is Thunder or maybe the Life Spell. We're going into this sunken P-Bag Cave for Patrick here. Going to be $500 at the end of it. Again, Patrick having the key is likely just going to put this towards attack 3. Fairy block in this 3 or 6, we're not sure yet. I mean, whether we see windows or a boss first, we might also see the item. Again, if we just see the medicine in here, we'll notice P3 ahead of time. traiLZ won't know that. I think it was just Patrick that went in for the hint. traiLZ stated yesterday in the post-race interview that he kind of likes to just find the spell items naturally in the game, so he tends to kind of skip those spell item hints, especially those that are 3 screens into the town, like in Darunia for the child or medicine in Mito. But it is going to be 6 as we find Barba. Palace 1 on the east as well here. So we don't know the item in 6. We'll see if we stick around. Might poke our head around a little bit here in the surrounding area. Probably worth it for a moment. traiLZ's doing a great job on this Barba. Very, very kind, same pit spawning here. Linear P1 so far. Not that P1's going to be too big, but if you're going to have a linear palace, P1, P3 are probably the ones you want to be linear. Alright, well, we do have a junction coming up here at 1. traiLZ's almost done with this Barba. Probably does not want to take a dip here. Wants the payout. Going to be 700 or 1,000 experience. What is it going to be? The full 1,000 today. That's going to give him 1,400. So he can actually see, he would have been able to skip. I think he would have been able to skip that, take the attack, and then skip magic again. But it might have been close, and in that case, he might have wanted to have gone upstairs. Yeah, it looks like it would have been close to that 650 there. So we find Horsehead. Kind of the problem with Palace 1, speaking of the power leveling, is that we definitely don't want to have to take this 330 level here. We'd rather take something like Attack 4. So Patrick's going to back out of that. Going to come up here and see what else is available. The item will be off in this direction too. Just hoping for enough experience as well. Heart in 6. So again, not a game-changing item, but also not a bad item to have just in general. Especially with the Guma fight still out there. You might be inclined to go fight Guma earlier than not if you've got some extra health. So P6 completely done for traiLZ at this point. And again, that was not too far away from Barba. Alright, we can head into this 4. We're going to head into 4 without Reflect. Looks like we're going to treat this as an item spot. traiLZ's up a game, maybe just willing to take a gamble here and say, you know what, maybe there's something great in 4. I'll go out of my way and just see what's in here. Now, if the item is pretty buried and it's ends up being nothing, this will just be a time waste. But if this is something valuable, like, well, I don't know, like a raft maybe. I mean, raft's going to be required, but I don't know if you need it that early on. If it's the glove, that'll be big. There's the item room for Patrick. What do we have in Palace 1? The child. Okay, well, that could be Thunder. Nice to have that ahead of time. And here's the item in 4. So this will be a quick... We haven't seen the boss yet. So this will probably just be a check and get out. Extra magic container, not a bad thing. I mean, containers are never to be scoffed at. Especially if we need to get into the basement. Again, that's going to be a 7th container check. We're going to need a hammer before we do any of that, though. traiLZ did take game 1 yesterday. There are some win markers down next to the players' cameras to indicate who is ahead and how many wins each runner has. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you for the raid. Zelda 2 Randomizer race here, lower bracket final. Essentially the 3rd place match here, game 2 in a 3-game series. traiLZ is going to stick around. Oh, he's probably looking for this level. Okay. Patrick takes a death here. Nothing too... not a big deal, though. The Horsehead is right nearby. traiLZ takes the death, though. 2 lives left. Yeah, this is a little rough with these Rawheads. He's trying to take them out, but they have the tendency to respawn at certain points throughout the screen. Oh, there's a Doom Knocker in the way. Okay. I see. Yeah, this is not exciting. I'd probably just ferry over this, but he gets it. It's a life level there. I might have just ferried over that and tried to get the blue Iron Knuckle from the other side without the Doom Knocker. Well, he's gonna head over to that palace. What is it, 5? We said it was 5, right? 4, 5, and then I guess 6. So Horsehead down for Patrick. Kind of a double dip of Palace 1. And that was for the purpose of experience there. At least I want to believe it was. traiLZ again, I don't know if he has seen the way to the east, so I think he's going to be checking. Oh, he's got Palace 5 up here though, but I think he's going to be checking around for that cave. And at the same time, if Patrick can just go find Darunia, you know, all these other palaces that traiLZ is doing right now, not having downstab, especially this Palace 5, you're going to be fighting Guma voluntarily without downstab at 4, 4, 5. And he's right here, so actually this isn't really that bad. If traiLZ does end up taking a game over, he's right here on the first elevator. Yeah, this isn't that, you know, it's going to depend if traiLZ wants to dig this for an item. But Guma being here is not, like, if Patrick ends up, you know, being in go mode by the time he finds 5, he's not going to be digging 5 for anything. He'll just find Guma and get out of here. So, if traiLZ wants to dig around in what could be a gigantic Palace 5. traiLZ has a 2-shot here on him, but he's doing great so far. Commentary Curse gets him hit 1 time. Safe Strats gets it done. He definitely wants the power level. That 1160, I think, is Magic 5. Is Patrick getting a little beat up here? Okay, he's going to do a little fairy feeding, and he's out of there. Looks like we need a flute here. 3-eyed rock. Again, a 50-50 if it appears on the Eastern Continent, but if it does, it will be a 100% palace underneath it, so. What are we missing? 2 and GP. Oh, the glove is in 5, but it's so easy to find. Wow. Well, if Patrick never sees the glove block, he's not going to have a problem getting through palaces, but at the same time, he's going to be looking everywhere on the east here for that potential glove, and if he wants to look, it is Thunderchild, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, he's going to be looking through some palaces here, but if he spends too much time in these, I don't know yet. I mean, we still need a flute, right? So he's still looking for a flute and a glove. So it's not like he's just hunting for a glove. We might also be hunting for a hammer at the same time. The flute could be a new Kasuto. The raft could be a new Kasuto. The raft is going to take us from the Eastern Continent to the maze today. Hell, you know, with the raft buried somewhere, the flute could be on the maze along with the trophy. So, yeah, traiLZ having 5 and 6 down is a great position to be in. Does he know how to get off of this continent, though? I think he's going to be looking around here. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, great levels. 4, 1, 4 for Patrick. But Patrick has not had a chance to place 2 gems. Again, with that key, Patrick probably just going to keep skipping his magic levels for now. All right, so Thunder pickup, Downstep pickup. Yep, traiLZ just going to go check all these caves. I believe it's right here. Oh, that south-facing cave, maybe not? I thought it was that south-facing cave in the swamp. Or this could be it right here. This actually could be it right here. Yeah, that is it there. Okay. So traiLZ about to see the same stuff that Patrick did. Looks somewhat linear. Is that a required River Devil down there? Can we walk around? It looks like we could walk... Well, I don't know yet. Yeah, I'm gonna need to see a little bit more. This looks like we got some water to the west of us. Raft probably right over here. Raft tile, that is, right over here. P1 for traiLZ. Desert tile down here. It is a required River Devil block, assuming there's something down there that's being blocked. Otherwise, there was a cave above us. Was that cave a pass-through cave, or was that a P-bag cave? Oh, there's the hammer. Okay. That opens up Medicine Cave. That opens up New Kasuto. Here's a town. Is this going to be Naburu or Old Kasuto? It is Naburu. Life, okay. That's right. So New Kasuto will be Shield. traiLZ getting a little beat up in this room here. Yeah, Spec Rock was a very easy check as well. That's right. 2 checks back in the west. And obviously, well, we got to find 3, right? So Patrick's probably on the hunt for 3. He knows Rebanak has the medicine. So if he can just... He knows he needs the flute. So the only thing he's got access to right now is going to be Death Valley. And that's assuming that we have access to it. But if we get to Death Valley, check the palace. If it's 3, we'll get the medicine out of there. And we'll just clear the west in one fell swoop from there. I mean, you know, traiLZ has to double dip the west, but it's not really, you know, it's not really that big of a deal with boots on an islands biome. A perfect, I was going to say perfect encounter to Thunder, but I don't think we can cast Thunder. Plus, I'm probably not too worried about getting experience at the moment. All right, we're going to walk the coast. Is there anything up here? Can we get up here? We might be able to get up here. There's Death Valley. Oh, wow, what a sneaky spot. There's the raft tile. I don't think traiLZ is going to miss it. There's the water tile as well, but I mean, you know, it might keep him scratching his head for a moment. So I don't think we have a River Devil block today. It's sitting there. It's blocking something. Probably a nice forest. But other than that, oh, Patrick not going to go into Death Valley. Not going to check to see if it's P3 medicine, in P3 for medicine in there. Wow, okay, he's coming back. I mean, he doesn't know that this is Palace 6, and, you know, that we know, so I'm operating off of that information. But it would be nice to know if maybe that's the palace with the flute in it. You know, even if it's Palace 2, could have the flute in it for that 3-eyed rock. Or could have the raft in it for the Maze Island that we need to eventually get to. So I think this might have been and that wasn't a quick walk either, so this might have been a small mistake here from Patrick. There's the child for traiLZ. Gonna take a death. Down to his last life, though. I don't imagine he'll have any trouble getting to Horsehead and through Horsehead, but it's always a possibility for a game over, I guess. There is that one lava room coming up, that P2 lava room. Yeah, Patrick going to continue to pass up these magic levels. 960 is life 5. 2500 something is that attack 5. So Patrick finding a dead end here in 6. I don't remember if traiLZ saw this or not. We get the jar, but we don't do the life cast for Patrick there. It was a risky jar, by the way. That could have been an Iron Knuckle. It It's quite possible traiLZ just went to the bottom of the elevator first and then just held right. Barba was not that deep into the palace, and the item was just a little bit beyond that. And that's going to be Palace 1 down for traiLZ. 3 gems on the board to Patrick's 1, although Patrick is working on this second. Yep, we did see this room on traiLZ's side. This is native P6 room. I don't think there's anything down here for traiLZ. No, he's got to head north, sort of like a lowercase n, or an upside down U, if you will. I think he's got to head kind of north and wrap around. Yeah, this is Barba right here. If he commits just to the right, it's going to be the pass-through item room with the heart in it. This fight's going to go a little faster for Patrick, assuming we don't take any deaths here along the way. He is at attack 4 versus traiLZ at attack 3. traiLZ was able to sink a lot of hits into the dragon, though, each time. Some favorable pit spawns on traiLZ's side during his fight. traiLZ now sees the 3-eyed rock, knows we need a flute. Trying to get an encounter skip on traiLZ's side. Yeah, these far pit spawns are slowing down Patrick's fight. Really depends on how aggressive you want to be during the Barba fight. Some people will jump early to try to get more hits before the fire spawns. Some people wait for the fire on that far pit. So if you're a fire waiter, then the fight does take a little bit longer than normal, or than if you weren't a fire waiter. Gets it down, gets it done. Second gem on the board. 2400 attack 5 coming up. traiLZ sees Darunia to turn in the Child for Thunder and Downstab. Nothing has been impeding traiLZ's progress so far, and I think if he commits to that Death Valley Palace, if it's P3, if it's P2, and it has a flute in P2, assuming maybe a flute in P2 or a raft in P2, and at a minimum medicine for P3, then that'll be kind of big. Spec rock check here. It's going to be a blue jar. All right, so we've got medicine cave out here somewhere. We might be looking for that. Yeah, just north of start. Okay. Sure enough. Patrick did not stick around in 6 though, so on his tracker he's going to have 6 as a question mark for what item is in there. All right, another magic container. That gives him 6. That gives him 7. Okay, so his 8th container is actually going to be in Palace 4. So he's good on the basement check at this point. He's got Spell. Honestly, if you want to hit up Nukasuda real fast, that's probably the faster check. He doesn't know how fast P5 is, but yeah, we might just be doing this first. Yep, we're going to hit up the east. The forest tile is right here, and we're going to be able to do a full clear, including getting the shield spell. Wow, it's just Pottery Barn, man. Just jar after jar. Well, we'll probably pick up shield and check this spell tower. traiLZ has found himself in a fun encounter with these Moas. So there is a cave down there beyond the River Devil, but again, we don't need any caves on the east at this time. traiLZ is about to see the desert tile just south of here. And then he'll probably just check the water because he knows there's really nothing else to do. He sees the town first, though. Spell Tower Heart. Wow. So what does this mean? This means that the palace... So, man, we know it's not in 6. We know it's not in 4. The only other thing we have available is flute or raft available in the Death Valley Palace. That's it. Now, Patrick doesn't have Reflect either, but he's going in here too. Yeah, so checking Death Valley was the play. This is going to be traiLZ' 7th container. Well, oh, traiLZ also going to up an A. Okay. That is such a far walk to get back to Death Valley. Both of them opting not to check it. And I believe one of these lefts was correct, as traiLZ was checking lefts, I think, and ended up finding that item before finding the boss. Nope, that's a dead end for Patrick. All right, traiLZ going to check Spec Rock as well. Yeah, I mean, I think all we have left is just the Death Valley Palace, and it can't be P3. Oh, glove block in here. That was not the way to the item, though, because traiLZ did the 4 item first before doing Palace 5, so... I think this is the other side of Fairy Cave for traiLZ, or Parappa. Okay. So he might have forgotten where that medicine cave was. That'll give Patrick back a little bit of time here. He probably won't forget for too long. Oh, I see why we might have not cast life on Patrick's side. It is 98 to cast life. Is that accurate? It's 98 magic to cast life at Magic 2? Wow. Oh, Patrick! Okay. He survives for a moment. We're good. Yeah, traiLZ just going to get a heart out of here. It will be his 6th heart, though. Or magic, I'm sorry, magic container in Medicine Cave. My bad, my bad. Yeah, Patrick committing to this 4. I think Patrick wants to get this life 5 before going into Palace 5 to deal with Guma. So traiLZ going to do the same checks as well here. He's going to get a jar from the basement. I don't know if Patrick picked up the shield spell. I feel like he was in there so fast that he didn't pick up the shield spell, so might just be sticking to life here. He did pick it up. Okay. All right, dead end for Patrick. I think I do remember this room on traiLZ's side. I think we're close to the item room. So I think that must mean that Karak is through the glove block then, going left. Because I think the item is coming up very soon. Because there was this room with the blue Iron Knuckle and Doom Knocker in here that traiLZ came back into fight to get the level. And that would have meant he was fighting it from the left to the right. And we're moving right to left right now, so... Alright, this is the final heart, I believe, here in Spell Tower. There's our item room, and it's going to be a magic container for Patrick. Oh, Patrick did see Karak. Okay. These runners are just too fast. Alright, we are off to Palace 5 for Patrick. He's going to see an early Guma. And at this point, I don't think, skipping the item, I think is going to be a big mistake. He's already skipped the item in 6, and now it's going to be in the back of his mind. If he gets the glove out of 5, he'll think I still need the flute, and there's only 2 spots it can be. It's either going to be P6 that he left behind, or it's going to be the Death Valley Palace. And traiLZ looks like he's headed up toward the Death Valley Palace again, although this trip is very long. So I guess if Patrick just comes up and takes that first left, I think that is literally just to the glove. Yeah, I'm just in the back of my mind, it's just so interesting. Both of them opted to not check the palace in Death Valley. I mean, I don't know if they were like injured. I don't know if they were down in life or something. I don't know how much Fairy was costing at that point, although we did just get a magic container from the water tile, so we get Guma down. So 3 gems apiece, but traiLZ is on his way to the 4th palace. Not P4, but his 4th palace just overall. We assume it has to be Palace 2, and it has to have a raft or a flute in it. But it essentially has to be a raft, because we need access to the maze. And if it's a flute, that only gives us access to Three-Eyed Rock, and we know that Palace 3 only has the medicine in it, so... Oh, did we miss this? We didn't miss this on traiLZ. He went up here. I mean, we saw the lava. That is a phenomenal spot for Death Valley, by the way. That is really cool. I think we're looking for a magic container spot here in the lava. One of them is out here somewhere, but there's really no guarantee that these spawn. I don't think there's a guarantee that the lava spike tiles both spawn. Anyway, we get that glove out of 5. Patrick happy about that. Where's he headed? Are we going back to the east? Or are we going back to 6? He's only got 2 spots left. It's either Death Valley Palace or P6. Oh, traiLZ almost taking a dip there. Okay, we're just walking around. We're coming back to the east, so Patrick is going to give up on that P6. At least for now. Which is a good thing, because, again, he'll have the answer out of this palace. So this is going to... See, okay. I think this takes us to the other side of the River Devil. And we don't have a flute, so we can't get out of there. So unfortunately, he's going to walk this way and then have to walk back. Yeah. No, with the up and A. Oh, no. Does that mean we're coming back to 6? We're going back to 6, folks. This is just a heart. traiLZ is in P2. Raft in P2. That's the last location for traiLZ at this point, so he knows that there is the raft in this spot. Yeah, this is bad, especially because the item is just a little bit beyond Barba. Or it's here. It's right here. It's a pass-through room. How easy is that? He's going to be right back to the east. Okay. Just a heart, and he will be back to the east. Okay. Wow, what a great pass-through room to be just left of start. Okay. Wow. Well, honestly, if you just went left of start, you would have seen the item, then you would have seen the dragon. You would have been out of 6 extremely fast, but neither runner went left at start there. I don't know how many junctions we've seen in P2 so far. We've got one in front of us, though. If it's a convoluted palace, Patrick might be able to close the gap slightly. Off-meta routing could get you in trouble, especially if the best you're trying to do is if you're a runner who's following your opponent, you want to at a minimum match their time in the palace, if not try to do better. But if you know your opponent is just going to hold right, then you might as well just hold right as well, perhaps, if you feel you're behind. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Everyone's got a different stance on that. But here's our item room. It is going to be the raft. If it's not, we're in trouble. There it is. Perfect. All right, so now we just gotta find Helmet Head. And then hit up the raft and flute. Flute and trophy on the maze today. Where P3 is at, though, we don't know if it's on the maze or under the 3-eyed rock. We are back to the Eco Key Room, okay. All right, so Patrick is over here in the water, just outside of Death Valley. So it is this up and left here on traiLZ's side. He's not going to take it, though. Or was there something else beyond the drop? Oh, there was something else beyond the drop, wasn't there? Yeah. Well, they're still going to be pretty close. I mean, this is by no means traiLZ's race. I mean, he's in the lead currently, but if GP is any sort of length, yeah, it is up and left behind us. So really, I think best thing to do is take the drop, go right, and then take the next up and left. I'm not sure if there's a left at start. If there was a left at start, we also have that on the board then as well, but I didn't catch the first room when we walked into P2. Was it a double drop? Okay, well, we're skipping it. I mean, there are kind of dummy drop rooms that don't do anything. All right, Patrick is getting into the volcano here. He's going to have one other encounter to fairy feet through. Yeah, this room is probably just worth ferrying at this point. Patrick being slowed down by the orange dinosaur. Oh, he takes the magic level. Okay, he's going to get a refill right before doing more fairy feeding. Yeah, what do we have here? 466 for traiLZ and 536 for Patrick. So better attack, but the next level is going to be attack 5 for traiLZ. Here's another drop. Into a different room, although it's the same looking room. There's... Okay, I thought this was another one of these elevator rooms. Well, it's not, though. Wow, P2 room in P2. I didn't see that earlier. I always like to call those out. There's some rooms that are unique to their palace in vanilla, and so... You know, False Wall in 5, the big lava pit in 6, the fairy hole in 6, that 3-tier crumble bridge in 2, things like that. Well, we're done with 2 on traiLZ's side. We'll see if Patrick has the opportunity to route this palace a little bit better here. Although it's very likely... Well, I say that's not true. So here's my assumption what Patrick's going to do. This next room over is going to be the elevator up and left. If he just traverses to the right, he's going to see the down item room. That'll get him the raft. And then he'll head right He'll jump the pit, probably, and see the dead end after it, and then come back and take the drop. And then when he takes the drop, he'll head right again. He'll see this junction first, and he'll take this up and left, which will speed him up a little bit. He needs to close the gap a little bit more here. It's highly unlikely this Palace 3 is going to cause any problems. The maze, again, if you're behind, you're always looking to match your opponent's time at a minimum, so we'll see how fast traiLZ completes the maze. We need both items out of it, so there's no skipping any drops here. We need that flute, and we need the... Well, okay, I'm sorry, we don't need both items, but the trophy is for jump, and if we're going back to the west to turn in medicine out of 3 for reflect, I would imagine we're probably going to turn in for jump as well. Jump is very valuable in Great Palace. So maybe we don't find both. It's possible that traiLZ opts to, if he just finds the flute, opts to not find the second item. He's going to double check the water tile here. Yep, we just ferry over the gap here for Patrick. You'll see the dead end either in this next room or one more over. Yeah, here it is, okay. An annoying enemy to have to come down the stairs on. Takes the drop. He's gonna head right. And he'll probably take the first... Yeah, okay, so that's a nothing room right there. So with a linear start, you can opt to jump onto the water. I don't think either runner's going to do that. We have Fairy Spell. We can easily Fairy feed these encounters that are in the way. Okay, so Patrick going to go further left here. Might be a little confused on where that previous junction was. Previous junction actually currently ahead of him now. Yep, he sees that room. All right, we're turning around. I mean, if these drops are just on the way here in the maze, then, both runners are going to have about the same time in the maze. All right, so as long as Patrick goes up and left here, he might need to take a dip in the lava. I don't know how comfortable he is at making it through this room without Fairy. Alright, he's going to get through. GP on the maze, he's not going to get through. I apologize for calling that one early. GP on the maze, made of the almost whitest stone you could find. Is that, what was on the outside of the pyramids back in the day? Is it not sandstone? Sandstone is what they're made of? Not granite. Limestone. Is it limestone? Or do I have those backwards? Anyway, it's very, very white GP. Should be very easy on the eyes. Yeah, the outside of the pyramids that is now worn off. Solid gold. I see. Sounds like an episode for Ancient Aliens. Hashtag not a sponsor. Alright, so we have the flute off in the maze. Did get the trophy as well. Head back to the east. Hit up 3-Odd Rock. Hit up Palace 3. Get the medicine. Come back to the west. Hit up Mito. Get the Reflect spell. Go to Palace 4 on the west. Poof. Okay, so GP is made of limestone today. Got it. We are just about to be done with Palace 2 here on Patrick's side. Again, slightly faster kill here maybe because of his attack 5. Just depends on how aggressive he is here. Kind of a linear seed in a sense, other than the Western continent obviously being islands with the boots available. That sort of opens things up on the west, but once you got to the east, you kind of had to just follow the east along and take it all the way to Death Valley here and do this. And neither runner did that. And I wonder if either runner is considering that, hey, I saw this, this was required, and I had to walk this entire continent again. So Yeah, Patrick did get the raft, yes. All right, another fairy block here in this Palace 3. Yeah, see all these little time saves you could be had, like, you know, if you can fairy feet faster, if you can, you know, manage your, you know, get yourself killed here quickly and get your magic back. All of these little time saves, like you can bleed just seconds here, seconds there across the, you know, entire duration of an hour seed, and that is several minutes then of overall time. traiLZ into this dead end here. Nope, opting to turn around. Oh, we're trying to do some counter skips here. So I think, honestly, you know, if Patrick wants to gamble, jump into the water once he gets off the raft. Jump into the water and check the river, because that is where the items are at, I believe. I don't think there were any items on the way to that area. All right, well, here's Rebanak. Still got to find the item. About to hit the raft tile up here for Patrick. He's gonna have to have a very fast maze here. Yep, no gamble, and I don't blame him. It's hard to gamble. Just follow the path. Very quick Rebanak there for traiLZ. 2950. Life set. This really could be anything. I doubt it's attack 6, but it could be. All right, magic 7. Not enough magic for Patrick here. Keeping his magic levels low, probably hurting his fairy cost here, and not being able to fairy feet as often. Another eco key room here in Palace 3. Alright, so Patrick has to find these items. We'll see if traiLZ wants to turn that trophy in. I don't know if he's going to turn that in or not. Oh, takes a bop. Oh, saves it, though. Alright, first drop for Patrick. Trophy. We'll never know if he was going to leave the trophy behind had he found the flute first. Alright, both drops right next to each other. That's probably why I missed them on traiLZ's side. Alright, well that... Oh, we're not going to up... Oh, we are going to up an A. Okay. Yeah, this is the better play. This is the better play. And here comes our medicine for traiLZ. Back to the west, over to Mito. Another thing that helps you save time is not having to re-find towns or caves and whatnot. You know, if we have to re-find Mito on traiLZ's side, and Patrick knows where it's at, then this is going to be a little bit better for Patrick. We know that Raru is in the north. I believe Mito is actually somewhere kind of southeast-ish. I believe it's right here for Patrick. Although, yeah, it doesn't need it right now. Okay, we're going to turn in the trophy now. Okay. Patrick giving a little head shake there, not sure. Alright, traiLZ does need to re-find Mito. This will not be it. This will be Rudo, though, so he might turn in the trophy. Yeah, it's possible he thought trophy was Reflect there. Alright, we are going to get jump on traiLZ's side as well. They're both going to have exactly the same stuff going into Great Palace. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a full P3, though. We had a full clear of P3 on traiLZ's side. We might have the same thing happen on Patrick's side. Again, there's potentially some time to save, but I don't know. It's a very little amount of time. And we can't fairy feed this. Might have been worth just taking the dip in the water there. Maybe not, though. Not that tough of an encounter. Alright, we'll see if traiLZ remembers to get upstab as the wizard in Darunia told him. Looks like he's gonna do that. That's true. The Palace 4 boss. We still have to navigate through there. We'll see if traiLZ remembers kind of where to go, if he did see it. I want to say traiLZ may have gambled on a left in this P3 to look for the item. We'll see if Patrick does that. I think that's what led him to the dead end, so I think if Patrick can avoid that left and just hangs to the rights. Yeah, I think it's just the right off of this elevator. I could be wrong, though. I don't remember anything from Palace 3. Alright, we're going into P4. Okay, so we're gonna go left off the cuff here. Is this Rebanak right here? Okay, so this will be a really fast 3 for Patrick then. He will save some time. Alright, so traiLZ knows he didn't go down and right there. Okay, dead end. A P4 dead end at that. Patrick gets Rebanak down. Here's the glove block. Okay, so we're going to go through this. From what chat is telling me, we did not need to go through this glove block. So if this sends us down some extra rooms and it's not like an immediate dead end, this will be in Patrick's favor. Oh, another... Okay, no, this is the P1, P2 room. Alright, Patrick's just going to go down and right. Oh, it is a dead end, though, so he's going to back out of here. Patrick also almost taking a dip here as well. Yeah, I assume traiLZ is just going to go down and right, because if he didn't see the boss before, then he knows that this is uncharted territory down here in this direction. Oh, traiLZ taking a death in there. It looked like it right at the edge of the screen. Alright, medicine coming for Patrick. Back to Mito, into 4. My God. A lot of back and forth here. We're already at 63 minutes. Yeah, Patrick going to save a little bit of time on the Mito trip. We do find Karok here for traiLZ. It looks like it's just left at start, down and right. If Patrick remembers that, he's going to save a little bit of time in 4 as well. traiLZ going to have a few minutes in this GP, though, ahead of Patrick. Down to a sliver of health on traiLZ's side. Gets it done, though. Is going to place this for the 29.90, life 7, 577. All right, well, we're walking into 4 on Patrick's side as traiLZ is leaving 4. traiLZ headed to the east and then through all of that nonsense one last time. I do wonder if it's faster to actually take the path that Patrick found, that cave that takes you over to the River Devil. I don't really know if that's going to be faster or not, though, but it will save overworld encounters. It will save the 2 fairy feeding spots you need to do there in the double Darunia encounter. It could, if there's a lot of swamp on the way, it could save some time. I think Patrick wants to try to get above 760 here so we can get some levels. Might come back and fight this guy. Does not come back, okay. I mean, Karok can give 300 or 500 experience in this flag set, so... We've got a 200 bag here, which we'll see if... I don't know if Patrick left it behind. He didn't leave it behind, okay. He's got a Doom Knocker and a red Stalfos up here. Yeah, a lot of swamp here. I'm going to say that even though it's a 2-screen cave, I think that 2-screen cave is faster than this standard overworld path here that wraps all around. Patrick got us... I don't know if he can take a hit. He might be able to take a hit. He might not be able to, though. Kind of nerve-wracking. You don't want to get Karok down and then you have to do 2 fights of this here. Well, I guess he could... Okay, you could take 3 hits. Oh, there it is. Yeah, what a walk, man. What a walk. Had anyone done Palace 2 when they first saw Death Valley, I mean, you're shaving several minutes off of this. Like, you're already in, you've been in GP at this point already for a few minutes. All right, Patrick going to be making the same trip here. Although he is going to be waiting for this 4,370 experience to tick up. So we are going to go off of Patrick's timer here. Looks like 67:21 barrier up on traiLZ's side. Patrick's timer is synced to the race room itself. traiLZ's timer is not. We have a left here at start and a right. Man, this is a very white palace. Almost bone white here. Okay, immediate Thunderbird, just hold right. Who knows what was left at start. Those gambling left are going to be a little upset here. "24 hits we have to sink into this Thunderbird here. At least at attack 5. traiLZ doing a good job. Gets hit there, though. Gets hit twice. Has to do the fight again. Patrick not going to take his 2-screen potential shortcut. We don't really know if it is a shortcut or not. I mean, because you have to take the cave over, then you have to come up through the River Devil and then back down through the forest. But I don't know. I mean, it's got to be better than this stuff, maybe? Just a lot of encounters. Every encounter you're in eats a ton of time. Or, I mean, each encounter itself doesn't eat a ton of time. It's the culmination of it all. Constantly taking encounter after encounter after encounter. Wonder where all the time goes. Oh, traiLZ with the reflect spell there. Having the fireball go right through him. Oh, gets caught again, though. Wow, look at that reflect spell doing its job, man. Oh! Oh, he gets caught again! Oh, boy. This is what Patrick needs right here. This is what he needs, 100%. He'd be there within a minute or so, I'd say. About a minute if he takes the water. He will likely take the water. We'll see if traiLZ actually up and A's after this. Yep, does take the water. I guess this is technically the shorter path here going along the left side. And we're in it. It'll be 69.50. We'll call it 70 flat. 70 versus whatever I said for traiLZ. So 2.5 minutes about, maybe almost 3. I think it was 67 something. traiLZ is already taking a little bit of damage here. Almost has Thunderbird down. There it is. Patrick not going to gamble. traiLZ will up an A. Kingbot over the lava. Surprise, surprise. Patrick is at attack 6. This will be 16 hits. All right, if Patrick gets this down on the first try, I imagine he won't up an A. It's a possibility that he does, though. All right, are we up and A? We got an offset 4-way here. We got a down left and right, up left. Just gonna hold right and go through the blue bird. All right, got a bridge. Bubble. Gonna go for the refill here on Patrick's side. Gets it immediately. Must be nice. Is this a 4-way? Is this an anthill 3-way? It is a 3-way here on traiLZ's side. You know, it's an I junction. Okay. Oh, Patrick gonna go up and left here. Gonna gamble on the path. Current room here for traiLZ. Will be an elevator at the end of this. Annoying bird on the stairs. Oh, traiLZ almost dead again here. He can't take a hit from anything. That's going to be a death. Elevator down in this paperclip room for Patrick. These medium-sized GPs are going to be anywhere between 34 and 48 rooms, so they don't necessarily have to be free by any means. Although they may still be free at some point. So we've got a brand new junction here. Bluebird guarding our path to the right, up and left for traiLZ now. Okay, new room here for Patrick as well. Upside down T-junction. Dead end for traiLZ. He's going to up an A as we just walk right to Darklink on Patrick's side. Easy game. Going to force a game 3 here in this lower bracket final, staying alive. Oh boy. Just walk the right way. Wow, comes from behind about 2 minutes or so. I mean, you watch enough of these races. Grey Palace can do things that, you know, twist, change the outcome. And sure enough, did today as well. There it is. GG to Patrick. Taking this one. Let me bring up the race room and see what the situation is here. All right, traiLZ does finish this one out in just a short period of time. I was going to send an invite his way as well. Let me see, double check anything that happened here in the race room. We cannot use traiLZ's audio. It is not clean. We're joined by Patrick. Hello, sir. GG. How did this one feel?
Hey, thanks. This one was a lot better. I really don't like it when it goes to 100% like this, but Yeah, looks like I just really got lucky in Great Palace with the routing.
Yeah, the gamble on the left for sure. Clearly, I mean, we saw a few junctions on the way as well, so anything could have also led there. But yeah, I mean, quick GP. There's really not much to talk about in terms of Great Palace here. You just kind of were in that early Thunderbird. Who knows what was left of start? We saw several junctions. I'm sure you were watching the end of it here. Saw several junctions on traiLZ's side as well. So unknown. I'm sure we'll see traiLZ show us a little bit more here. But other than that, I mean, I think you both played it very similarly. The only differences I would say is that traiLZ did clear 6 first and did get the item out of there. There was you saw there was a pass-through item room in 6. If you just went back up Barba's elevator and went to the right, it actually led to that room as well from the left side. So there was a loop. If you just went left at start, it would have been item room into Barba. Neither one of you went left at start, but it was that close. So yeah, lucky that when you went back in there looking for the potential flute or raft that that was that close to the start of the palace. Otherwise, 6 could have been terrible. And if it was terrible, this outcome probably would have been a lot different here.
Yeah, it seemed like that plus traiLZ dipping Palace 5 early may have made a difference.
Yeah.
He and I were talking in the race room, and I think like he had more of a decision when we got the hammer on the water tile. For me, it was kind of obviously up an A because I don't want to go into an unknown palace without the glove in Valley of Death. Whereas he had that decision and opted up A as well. But I think that could have been a big decision point, or a big deciding that point.
Yeah. I was talking about that, and that was the one thing that I would have said was, from my perspective, I would have at least checked to see what that palace was, just so I knew, like, because if it was Great Palace, then I knew that, I need to definitely clear these other palaces on the west then for flute and raft and all these other goodies. But like you said, you'd just gotten the hammer, so you still had Spec Rock and Medicine Cave, and then by then you had 7 containers. You had access to the basement and the spell tower and all those things. So you had a lot of checks to do at that point as well. So yeah, I mean, again, you made your case for not checking Death Valley Palace. So there you go. It's essentially, one person wants to do one thing, the other wants to do the other. I would have gone in there, but neither of you did today, and it seemingly worked out because traiLZ could have gone in there after you left it. traiLZ could have gone in there, and this would have been also another kind of different turnout here had he just gotten the raft out of P2 on this first trip to the east.
Yep. Yeah, this is one of those seeds where if you knew where the item locations were, you could probably shave 10 or 15 minutes off of what we did. But, obviously we don't have that. So 100% it was.
Yeah, and it was, I don't know, they don't usually end up this way. I mean, sometimes they do. We've seen several that were 100%ers, but, sometimes you just find what you need to find and go. And you were all both very healthy for GP. And I don't know. There's really not much to say. I mean, because we saw it all and you both did it all. Again, the only early divergence was, like I said, traiLZ did 6 into 4 and then into 5. So he did get the magic container out of 4 very early on. And then he went into 5 and saw Guma in first elevator, checked that first up and left. And of course, it was the item. You both saw exactly the same amount of Palace 5. And so at that point, you did 1. You got the child out of 1. You were turning it in for Thunder. And then you were clearing out Desert for Hammer, Naburu for Life, I think is what that was. And then it was Water for a Magic Container. And then you up and aid from there. And then traiLZ essentially did the same thing on the east. And the rest is history. Yeah. Other than that, though, this is a quick interview. I don't know if traiLZ is coming in here. But if not, I mean, any final thoughts here? I'm sure we're feeling better today than we were yesterday.
Yeah, I just had that brain fart yesterday, and I'm feeling much better. Got it out of my system, I hope. It's a good game to traiLZ. I'm looking forward to Game 3. It sounds like we might try to do that on Tuesday.
Okay.
Since Upstarts is tomorrow night.
That's true. Yeah, I did see that in the schedule.
Yeah, so thanks for commentating and putting all this together, and I'll talk to you later. GG again.
All right, looking forward to game 3. GG Patrick, GG traiLZ, who's not going to be joining us, I don't believe. But that's going to be it for us. Quick post-race interview. Again, we saw the whole game from each player's perspective. So again, GG to them. Good luck in game 3. That will be the deciding factor 100% at that point. Both of our runners having a win in a 3-game series here. Speedgaming Live event coming up end of October. SGLIVE.speedgaming.org. Get your get your in-person tickets for that event in Herndon, Virginia, the yearly in-person event that Speed Gaming does put on. For the schedule, Speed Gaming, it's speedgaming.org if I didn't say .org. Speedgaming.org/schedule for the overall schedule. Twitch.tv/team/speedgaming for all of the channels. Check out what they might be having on at any point in time. Speedgaming.org/SGL25Z2R for the Z2R schedule, specifically for the SGL event. As Patrick had alluded to, there is an Upstarts event also going on, which is the newbie tournament that we hold every year. They are in the finals at this point. Won't spoil who's in there on this broadcast, but if you want to check that out, tomorrow night is going to be game 3. They have a 5-game series. So yeah, more Z2R if you want it. Coming up on Speed Gaming, coming up on other networks as well. So check that out. Thanks for watching, folks. Again, for the 3rd time, GG to the runners. And we'll see them later this week, as we do need to we do need to wrap up this tournament very quickly, as we are running out of time. So with that said, my name is Mirai. RG on tracking as well. Thanks for tracking today, RG. You can see the links in there in the chat right there. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.